Hey guys, welcome to my channel. We're here testing out some of the version 4 Full Metal Jacket bullets. This is a follow-up video on my original testing on it. The last video I misaddressed it as a version 2. These are actually version 4s. I was re-informed with the email and also going back through my purchase history. On that last video we had an issue with the flyers hitting the ground 30 feet after my chronograph. Oh, actually, sorry, 15 feet after my chronograph, and then they were like 30-40 feet away from point of aim on the hill. So on this video, I'm gonna readdress what I got back as a response on the email. I like to first say that Everglades Ammo, they're spot on with their customer service, their customer support. I literally sent an email out and I got a response back within an hour. So I'm willing to stand by any company that's willing to give that one-on-one attention to their customers and any concerns they have. So with that being said, Steve, thank you very much for responding. We'll go over kind of what he recommended in his the questions I asked. Number one, on the question, I asked him asked Everglades if there was a minimum to maximum FPS that they recommend for this version 4 bullet. The response I got back from Steve was that their bullets are good up to 3300 FPS, which pretty much covers all the powders I reload. It's scooting along. Number two, I asked if what was their recommended overall length. Pretty much what I thought. They're stating the pretty much crimp middle of the cannelure and give it a good factory crimp, like a medium crimp. That is to compensate for bullet setback. The recoil that happens on gas impingement systems, so it doesn't jump out of the crimp. So I did just that. And three, I asked if they had a bullet coefficient number for this particular bullet. The response back is basically at the moment right now they do not have one. Maybe later on down the road on their match bullets or maybe the 75 grainers, they may start listing a coefficient value for it. I like to have it personally for my own record, so I could do some calculations and stuff like that. Point of aim to what I got to dial up on. I don't specifically plan on shooting this long range, but it is another good thing to know. And then four, I asked him what was his thoughts on the video that basically the results I had in my last video. I really thank him for going over that video. It's about a 30-minute long video, so him going over the shots that are happening. He asked me a few questions between a couple emails, asking my reloading technique. What am I doing as powder charging? And then also he did recommend that shoot more bullets, not just a 5-round group. That's of course that's something I should have done. Doing 5-round shots, it's not really particularly going to show the capability of the bullet and how consistent it is. So on this today, we're going to be using the same bullet, using recommendations. I crimped, with medium on the cannelure, and that put me at a 2.225 overall length, and I gave it a good factory crimp on it. So it's got a medium crimp to it. Unfortunately, I ran out of benchmark, so today we're going to be doing ladder load test. We're going to be using CFE 223. I actually like this powder. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. I like this powder because I usually get a good accuracy node around the max charge, which is for me or for Hodgdon is 27.5. I usually get a good accuracy around 27 grains. So we're going to be doing a ladder load test. I'm going to work up from 26 grains all the way up to 27.2. So I'm going to go from there and see if we get an accuracy node. When we do get an accuracy node, I'm going to compare that 10-shot group, and I'm going to shoot these cast lead bullets for the 223. It's the Lee 55 grain cast 223. I did make a video about it, doing a sub MOA group. It was only a 3-shot group, and I was able to get a under an inch sub MOA with that. I didn't have a chronograph at the time, so today we're kind of going to be kind of excited. Finally get to see what these do and kind of standard deviation numbers we get. And I'm going to do a 10-shot group with that, and I'm going to compare that group with the Full Metal Jacket. Now, of course, the speeds are going to be a lot more with the full metal jacket, but the main goal here is basically getting a cheap plinking round. Now, I'm still kind of leaning towards the cast bullet, and the reason why is because it's very, very soft shooting. If anybody was to use it for a competition round, maybe a 3-gun, you can follow up your shots really, really quick. It fully functions on all the ARs I have tested so far. And like I said, today we're going to get to see what kind of numbers we get, and if there's something after a 10-shot group, if it's still grouping around a sub MOA. Other than that, guys, let's get to the range. Let's see what these results are. I'm going to do a video view. I'm going to have a wide camera set up, and then I'm going to do another camera just kind of zoomed in on the targets and inlay it in the main video. That way, if we do have flyers, I can finally catch them on the video. Let's see how these perform, and hopefully that doesn't happen. The only difference that I did today, like I said, is I'm using a different powder. But we're going to be doing the exact same method I did on the last video, and that's just doing a ladder load test using his recommendations. 10-shot groups work up to 27.2. So without further ado, let's see you in the range. Let's see how these do, and after that, we'll test these Lee cast bullets. All right, guys, see you out there. Guys, welcome back. We're all set up again here at 100 yards. We're going to go ahead and start testing these full metal jackets from Everglades. We're going to start out with 26 grains. I do have another camera set up that hopefully it will catch those flyers I was talking about. I'm going to do a video, see if we are having flyers. Hopefully I can catch them. But let's go ahead, let's get set up, let's get on testing these things, and once we find an accuracy node, I'm going to go ahead and try them out against my my powder coated 223. So let's see how these do. All right, guys, let me get you set up and get you looking down range. Sit you right here next to the chronograph. Hopefully the wind doesn't knock you down. Okay. Should be able to see pretty much the whole backside of the hill. I got 10 rounds loaded up with 26 grains. I'm going to go ahead and see if these group. All right. 26 grains. First target, actually be the second to your left. First one was my checking my zero on my scope. So there we go. Hopefully these group. Flyer, you can see hit the ground. All right, all 10 shots, full function, 26 grains. Next up, we're going to be doing 26.5. Alright, that was 10 shots, full function. No pressure signs. 10 shots, here we go. This will be the fourth target from the left. Wow. Okay, another flyer you can see hit the ground. Alright, 26.3 right there. No pressure signs. Everything looks pretty good so far. This is 26.8 grains, 10 shots. Here we go. Fourth target from the, well, it'd be the second from the right now. Make it a little easier. Yeah, that's definitely got a little bit more punch. You can see, oh, I'll give you guys the chronograph numbers, but we're above that 3200 mark right now. And I'm actually getting a group now. Alright, let's check for a pressure sign. Alright, it's primers are starting to get a little bit of flatten. Still nothing too obvious, but you can definitely tell it's a little hotter. Didn't have a flyer there. And standard deviation is okay. So last up, we're going to do 2 grains below max. That's going to be 27.2. 2 grains below max, and that's with using the Hornet 10th edition. So this is 27.2 grains, CFE 223. Alright, 10 rounds loaded up, here we go. Last target on the right, guys. We're at 3300 FPS, guys. Just 3301 was that shot. Yeah, they're just flying everywhere. All right, like that gave us the best group though. Let's see for a pressure sign here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a flattened primer compared to 26 grains, but I still call that good. Oh damn it, I forgot to press start on the chronograph. But it looks like we're above the 33.27 was the last shot, so we're above the 3,300 mark. Let me walk you guys down there. We'll look at the shots, the grouping here. Zoom out real quick. What happened there? Chronograph blew off the lid. Yeah, beautiful day out here. You know, about 80 degrees still, and about 2 mile/hour wind. So, perfect day to do some of this testing. Hopefully that wide view camera caught 2 of those flyers that I was talking about. They weren't as severe as my last time testing. You know, like I said, last time I was testing, they were hitting way off, but it seems like CFE 223 seems to be the better powder for this round. Man, 100 yards is kind of a good little hike once in a while. All right, so let's go from left to right. This was my 0 for my scope. It's 26 grains. See there, no grouping. 26.3, that was horrible. 26.5, starting to tighten up. 26.8, definitely tightened up, but got a few flyers down here. I got one here, so let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots on the board, so 3 of those flyers somewhere. And then a 27.2, which seems like all the shots are there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a flyer. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, 1 flyer there, but you could tell that group there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 right here. I'm gonna say about 1 inch, maybe just over 1 inch. And I think my barrel started heating up, so it started walking on me. But yeah, 27.2. Like I said, for my rifle, I seem to get better accuracy node or an accuracy node around you know, top of the load, max load. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna test. You know, I'm gonna leave these 2 up here. I'm gonna leave the 26.8 grains and the 27.2, and you know, set up another target, and we're gonna see what these cast powder coated 223 loads do, and you know, compare them, you know, as a plinking round. Of course, you know, I'm getting 3,300 FPS on the 27.2, so penetration is definitely going to be a lot more on the full metal jackets, of course. But let me go ahead and get set up for the cast load, and you know, see how these do. All right, give me a second, guys. All right, guys. I let the barrel cool down. In between letting it cool down, I wanted to give it the best, you know, advantage. Start fresh new. So I went ahead and I bore snaked the barrel. Like I said, CFE 223. It's a good powder, but for me, it's pretty sooty, so it gets a lot of carbon buildup. So to be fair, I went ahead, cleaned the barrel, let it cool down for about 25 minutes. We're gonna try out 10 shots of the powder coated 223s here at 100 yards. So let me go ahead and get you guys zoomed in, and we'll be shooting at the second to the left target. So let's go ahead and get these things tested. Alright, 100 yards, got the chronograph set up. It'll be, like I said, second to the left. So the one with the big red square. Now I know these shoot a little low, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dial these up. 9, 10, 11, 12. So dial it about 4 inches. So these shoot about 4 inches low with my scope and rifle compared to a regular 55. So make sure this chronograph is going. All right, here we go. 10 shots. Looks like it'll be a flyer. So I get a lot of smoke coming out of it. All right, that was 10 shots. Looks like we're averaging 2,300 FPS. Wow. Now that I finally got the chronograph, this thing, standard deviation is pretty high. I got a 60 in that one. So, you know, powder coated bullets, like I said, it's not easy. But let's go ahead and take you down there. Even with that standard deviation, it looks like you know, for a plinking round. You know, with this bullet, I was before able to get a sub MOA. Excuse me, here, let me zoom out. That was with 3 shots only. So this is a complete 10 shot group. Looks like they're all on paper. You can see the last bullet registering, the last shot being, you know, 2346. Let's walk you down there, and we'll compare that to you know, some of the groups I got with that full metal jacket. You know, the only difference between this is that I don't get those flyers hitting the ground. So. And it's a nice day out here. I think one day I gotta go ahead and clean up all this trash that people freaking leave behind. So, you know, it's kind of sad. It's kind of crap that gets places like this shut down. You know, for your viewers out there, if you guys ever find good BLM land and shooting, it'd be a good courtesy just to pick up your trash, guys. You know, keeps this place going. Doesn't let the park rangers shut it down. You know, this is a good little spot. So where I live, they shut down one BLM land near me, Steel Peak, and that was a pretty good spot. Unfortunately, you know, I got shut down due to the trash and stuff people leave behind. Anyways, I'll shoot you at this target. This is about a 2-inch square. Wow, I had quite a bit of flyers. Looks like I only got, I got 7 on paper, 3 flyers. It's like 1 hid down here. Let's see if I can find any more. Maybe 1 up here. Yeah, I mean, you know, we didn't see it hit the ground or anything, so pretty sure they hit the backboard, just not on target. But yeah, there's 7 shots for a plinking round. You know, looks like they're like I said, my last video I did 3 shots, and these are my first 3 I did. I think. I know they hit low, but I'll review the video again. But yeah, there's a sub MOA group right there, or just at 1 inch, and then of course including, you know, the barrel starting to warm up. And these are the 2 Full Metal Jacket targets, and you could tell, taking, you know, this one has all 10 shots. Of course, this one had a better group right here. There's like 5 shots here. That's pretty good for a full metal jacket, which is, you know, expected for something with an actual jacketed bullet. But again, that was with that round loaded up, I'm at like 16 cents a round. That was a 27.2 grains. This is the 26.8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one had 3 flyers as well. So comparing that 26.8 to, let's see, my powder coated bullets, they're about the same performance. You know, you're looking at, you know, one is 8 cents a round. Of course, it doesn't have the velocity and penetration like a Full Metal Jacket, but they do expand, and I'm hoping to get my ballistics gel pretty soon. So for like a varmint round or something, just a plink around, I'm going to take advantage, or I'm going to give the advantage over a powder coated bullet. You have a hell of a lot lighter recoil. I mean, you barely feel it. Almost feels like a 22 Magnum. So with a group like that, and then let's say we found this chrono'ed at 26.8, same kind of performance, 3 flyers. I'm going to give the advantage over powder coated bullets, especially shooting like a 3-gun comp. Especially, having a lighter recoil and all that. But yeah, guys, so that's it. Full Metal Jacket, the Everglades version 4. Let's get back to the bench. Let's talk about it. Hopefully I caught those 2 flyers that hit the ground. Looks like CFE 223 did a better performance compared to benchmark. The only thing I don't like about it, like I said, it is sooty, and it looks like we got the best performance at 27.2. So let's get back to the bench. Let's talk about it. Let's go over basically the email again. They're pretty much just stating the max, or his recommended FPS. So we got above the recommended FPS of 3,300 FPS. So with 27.2. But other than that, I'm gonna go and do a little bit more testing. I got a new powder coated bullet from NOE. It's a 62 grainer, and I'm gonna do a ladder load test and see how they perform. I'll shoot a video on that pretty soon. Alright guys, see you back at the bench. Alright guys, so we're back. Did some video editing, and kind of cool, like I said, things you miss when you're out there not filming. Luckily, pretty happy I'm able to videotape the results here. To go over the Full Metal Jackets, we're still having the same issues. Everglades ammo, I'm going to contact them again, let them know what I'm having. Big concern this time is that this time it actually did hit the chronograph. Luckily, it was only on the wire, not the chronograph itself. But you can see on the video that the chronograph is set up exactly how they recommended. I'm at 10 feet away shooting, and I'm shooting dead center low on the chronograph to get a better reading. You can tell that I'm not really getting that many errors. And the wind wasn't a factor here today. We were having maybe 5-mile-per-hour gust. So I'll show you what happened. Like I said, it was around 2 minutes and I think 25 seconds is when you saw it hit the chronograph. That was on the first group of 26 grains of CFE 223. That's well below the 3,300 FPS mark. I'll go ahead, like I said, on the video you'll see the standard deviation numbers and all that. But this is what happened. You can see that nick right there. And this was on the first panel of the chronograph. When I picked it up and zoomed out, you can see I had the white, I guess the shade was off, and I was like, what the hell happened there? I thought it was the wind, but of course I'm like, when it's only 2-mile-per-hour wind. So that's what happened. Got nicked. So we're still having issues with the flyers. I think that's pretty drastic. I may have just got a bad batch, so I'm going to go ahead and re-notify Everglades and possibly send the rest of these in. I got about let's say 200, 300 rounds left. I'm probably going to hold off and not shoot those anymore. I don't want to risk damaging any more equipment. So let me know what you guys think about these full metal jacket bullets. Maybe some possibilities. Something went wrong. Again, when I reloaded these, they're right in the middle of the cantilever as recommended, and I gave it a good factory medium crimp using a Lee factory crimp die. And my reloading technique I was hand loading, or basically almost like a single stage press. I was weighing every single powder charge per 10-shot group, so as we worked up on the lighter load. But with the powder coated bullet, finally got the chronograph that. You can see that we're right above the 2340 FPS, and at 3-shot groups, sometimes they got a sub MOA, and as the bullet or as the barrel heated up, I started noticing a little bit more smoke. I shot these just after doing the lighter loads on the full metal jackets, and it did something I've never seen it done yet, and that was the smoke. You can see the flyers happening and the groups are opening up. So barrel heat comes into play, guys, so that's something to take in count when you're doing your lighter load test. But now that I know that the standard deviation number is a little high on that bullet, I'm going to try out a different powder. That's going to be on the next video, and that would be IMR 4065. Excuse me, 4064. Now, I did some research, called Hodgdon, and I called IMR, and they recommended that and 4895 for reduced loads. So I'll go over some pointers on that video about the what do you call it, the dangers of reduced loads on a rifle case cartridge, having that excess room and volume in your case. But anyways, guys, that concludes the testing for now. I'm going to go ahead and email Everglades, let them know the results I'm finding. Again, like I said, the company is spot on their customer service, so I'm not being negative about it. This is a non-biased review. They're willing to help you out, guys. So with that being said, I will continue buying their product. It's, with their customer service they have. I'm definitely going to try out their 75 grain match bullets. Again, they got a lot of good reviews on those. So, for my rifle being a 180 twist wild, it likes the heavier bullets. I like shooting long range. It's kind of a good, I guess, challenge for me. The rifle itself is about $810 that I built. So it goes to show, guys, that the equipment, the gun you're shooting it out of, yeah, it's got a little bit of factor in play about your reloads and how accurate it is, but the main focus here is knowing the reloading techniques, knowing your powder, knowing your bullet capabilities, and just basic knowledge. When you guys can, if you guys do get into reloading, it is recommended, and I highly recommend it, is going over the notes of the reloading book. On a Hornady 10th edition, there's got the chapters before it about reloading techniques. These companies are putting out some good information. Got good tips about what to look for and what they recommend on reloading. So that's something I recommend. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I got into it maybe about 3 years. I'm almost 4 years now of reloading, but it's a pretty big passion of mine. So I'm having, majority of the time now I'm spending reloading, or not reloading, but reading the reloading manuals prior to me reloading, not just going out there and doing lighter load tests. So all right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, go ahead and throw a like on there. If you have any suggestions, you're more than welcome. Throw a comment down below. Like I said, this is it's just my experience to you guys about reloading powder cast bullets and a cheap alternative to the full metal jacket. Again, powder coated bullets, about 8 cents a round, reloaded. And the full metal jackets so far, I'm able to reload those for about 16 cents a round. So still on the journey, still on the search of getting a cheap plinking bullet. I think 8 cents a round, that's pretty good. I'm right there at the 22 LR prices. So yep, thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.